I am making an update to my Fabled Fiendsmith deck as I was able to get the rest of the cards I was needing for it. Which, mainly, there's now 3 tracks from last time, whereas last time there was only the 1. But I still like how this deck plays. I might need to take out a couple of... or cut down on a couple of some of the Fabled monsters. But for now, I actually like how this is. Which, starting with the monsters, I play 2 copies of the Fabled Chawa. The Fabled Chawa has the effect that during your main phase, you activate its effect to discard a Fabled monster to special summon itself. And then because this is Fabled Fiendsmith and not just Fiendsmith as an engine, I play 3 Lurie instead of 1. Lurie is a free body when it's discarded, as long as it isn't for cost, I believe. Next, I play 1 copy of the Fabled Catsith. The only reason I'm playing 1 of this card is because its effect is mandatory, which is if it's discarded, target a card on the field or face-up card on the field, destroy it. It's only in here for losing the die roll, which if you don't want to play it, you can easily take out Fabled Catsith. Next, I play 3 copies of the Fabled Cerberus. Again, it's a free body, and this one's a tuner. So I figure why not play 3 of it. Next, I play 1 copy of the Fabled Abonk. The Fabled Abonk has the effect that if it's in your graveyard, you can discard a Fable monster. Then special summon this card from your hand, but it's banished when it leaves the field. You can use that effect of Abonk once per turn. Next, I play 3 copies of the Fabled Behemoth. The Fabled Behemoth has the effect that if this card's in your hand, you can discard 2 or more Fabled monsters, including itself. Just special summon a Fabled Synchro monster from your extra deck that has a level equal to the level of the discarded Fableds. And then this is treated as a Synchro Summon. And then if a card or cards are sent from your hand to the graveyard while all cards in your graveyard, except in the damage step, you can banish this card, special summon a Fabled monster from your hand. You can only use each effect of the Fabled Behemoth once per turn. Next, I play 3 copies of Fabled Cruise. Fabled Cruise has the effect that when discarded, target 1 other level 4 or lower Fabled in your graveyard and special summon it. Next, I play the primary normal summon of the deck, which is 3 copies of Fabled Raven. Fabled Raven has the effect that once per turn, you can discard any number of cards to increase its level by 1 and attack by 400 for each card that you discarded. The attack doesn't really matter that often. It usually doesn't matter at all. The main thing is that you can just normal summon this, discard a bunch of your Fableds, and then trigger their effects when discarded. Next, I play 1 copy of Fabled Kushano. Fabled Kushano has the effect that if it's in the graveyard, then once per turn, you can... Well, if this card's in your graveyard, except turn it was sent there. I believe that's how it's worded. 1 moment. Okay, no. It's just, if it's in your graveyard, you can discard a Fabled monster to return it to your hand. And you can do that as many times as you want. For some reason, I always think it's once per turn when it's not. Next, I play 2 copies of the Fabled Ganashia. Again, it's a free body when discarded. However, unlike Cerberus and Lurie, this one is banished when it leaves the field. Next, I play 3 copies of Fabled Marcosia. Fabled Marcosia has the effect that if it's in your hand, you can discard up to 2 monsters, except for another Marcosia, but including another Fabled monster to special summon it. So if you have like this, Lurie, and Cerberus, you can discard the other 2, summon this, summon back Lurie and Cerberus, and you can make a level 7 or 6 Synchro monster. And then Marcosia also has the effect that when discarded, you can add a Fabled spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Next, I play 3 copies of Fabled Grimrow. Fabled Grimrow has the effect that if you control a Fabled monster, then you can discard Grimrow to add any level 4. No, you discard to add any Fabled monster from your deck to your hand except for another copy of Grimrow. Next, for the Fabled supporting monster, I play 3 copies of Rescue Cat. Rescue Cat can send itself to the graveyard for cost to special summon 2 level 3 or lower beast monsters from your deck, but their effects are negated, and then destroyed during the end phase, but that doesn't really matter because usually you're summoning monsters that have levels you need. Like you can summon Chow as a level 1 tuner, Cerberus as a level 2 tuner. You could summon Behemoth if you need it, for again as level 2 tuner. You can summon Ganashia for a level 3 non-tuner. I'm trying to remember all the other. You can summon Catsith as a level 1 tuner. And then next, for the Fiendsmith part of the engine, I play 1 copy of Lacrima, the Crimson Tears. It's always treated as a Fiendsmith card. And then if this card is normal or special summoned, send a Fiendsmith card, or you can send a Fiendsmith card from your deck to the graveyard, except for another copy of itself. Then during your opponent's turn, if this card's in your graveyard, has a quick effect. Target a Fiendsmith Link monster that's in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and then if you do special summon this... Special summon... Do you special summon... No. If you do special summon that monster, you'll use each effect of Lacrima of the Crimson Tears once per turn. I wonder if that means my opponent was misplaying when... Or at local I was currently at when they summon... Or use Lacrima, put back the Link 1... Then summon itself. And then next I play 3 copies of Fiendsmith Engraver. Fiendsmith Engraver has the effect that you can discard it to then be able to add a Fiendsmith spell or trap from your deck to your hand. There are 4 in the deck currently. I believe there's only 4. And then you can target a Fiendsmith equip card you control and a monster on the field. Send them to the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle 1 other light fiend monster from your graveyard back into the deck or extra deck to special summon itself. You will use each effect of Fiendsmith Engraver once per turn. So I just like this because it's able to get you into the Fiendsmith engine, and then it's also a level 6 non-tuner should you need a level 6 body. And then that is it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells, I play 1 copy of Stairway to a Fabled Realm. This card has the effect that when it's activated, you send a Fabled monster from your deck to the graveyard. And then if your Fabled monster attacks an opponent's monster and your opponent has more cards in their hand than you do, your attacking Fabled monster gains 200 attack times the difference. So if you have no cards in your hand, but your opponent has 6, then your Fabled monster will gain 1,200 life points. Or attack points, I mean. And its final effect is, if I remember correctly, let's see. Okay, look. Its last effect is once per turn, you can target a Fabled monster that's in your graveyard. Discard 2 cards from your hand to then add that monster to your hand. So this can be used to help recycle some of the Fabled extract monsters. Or if you really need Raven in hand, or not Raven, Grimro or something like that, you just discard 2, return to hand. Next, I play 3 copies of Fabled Realms Revival. Fabled Realms Revival has the effect that when this card is activated, you can set a Fabled spell trap from your deck, except for another copy of itself. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you Synchro Summon a Fabled Synchro monster. Then once per turn, you can discard 1 Fabled card, then activate one of the following effects, where you can draw a card, or you can special summon a Fabled monster from your graveyard or banish. And you will activate each effect of Fabled Realms Revival once per turn. Which this being able to summon from banish is why there's only 1 a bonk, because you just summon it back later off of this. And then next, to finish off the spells, I play 3 copies of Fiendsmith Tract. Tract, in my opinion, is a 3 of in this deck, purely of the fact that it's able to let you add a light fiend from your deck to your hand. So that's anything from the deck that isn't Chowa, Catsith, Cerberus, Ganashia, and a bonk. I believe that's it. Everything else is entirely searchable off this card. And then it has another effect you can banish from your graveyard to fusion summon a fiendsmith fusion monster using monsters from your hand or field. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. But I do like the fact that you can just search anything in the deck. For the traps, I play 1 copy of Fiendsmith in Paradise. This will let you target level 7 or higher light fiend monster you control. Send all cards on the field to the graveyard that are not that monster. And then if your opponent special summons a monster while this card's in your graveyard, you can banish this card to send a Fiendsmith monster from your deck or extract to the graveyard, and you can only use each effect of Fiendsmith in Paradise once per turn. I honestly kind of like Fiendsmith in Paradise just for its ability to just go board wipe, which I think is funny. And then lastly, I play 2 copies of Fabled Treason. Fabled Treason has the effect that you can target a Fabled monster in your graveyard and a face-up card on your opponent's side of the field. I believe it has to be on the opponent's side of the field. I'm wrong. You target a face-up card on the field. And you discard a card, destroy the card on field, and then summon the targeted Fable from graveyard. And that's it for the main deck. I believe the main deck is 42 cards. Never mind, I'm wrong. It's 45 cards. I do need to cut this down a little bit. I'll probably end up cutting Raven to 1, Cruise to 2, probably cut Ganashia to 1. I'll figure that part out later, but for now, I like how it is. For the extra deck, I play 1 copy of Fiendsmith's Requiem. Fiendsmith's Requiem has the effect that you can only special summon a copy of this card once per turn. During the main phase, quick effect, you can tribute this card, special summon a Fiendsmith monster from your hand or deck. Then you can target 1 light non-link fiend monster you control. Equip this card from your field or graveyard to that monster. Or you control as an equipped spell that gives it 600 attack. You can only use each effect of Requiem once per turn. Next, I play 1 copy of Fiendsmith's Sequence. Fiendsmith's Sequence has the effect that during your main phase, you can fusion summon a fiend fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling its materials from your graveyard into the deck. And then you can target a light non-link fiend monster you control. Equip this card from the field or graveyard to that monster. As an equipped spell, it gives it the following effect: your opponent cannot target the equipped monster with card effects. And then lastly, I play 1 copy of Fiendsmith's Agamundi. Agnamundi has the I cannot pronounce this card's last name apparently. Fiendsmith's Agnumdi or Agnumde. Red guy. I'm just gonna call it that for now. It has the effect that once per turn, quick effect, you can target a light non-link fiend monster that's in your graveyard. Special summon it, and if you do, equip this card to that monster you control. And where it gains the following effects, which are: it gains attack equal to the total link rating of link monsters equipped to it by 600, and if the equipped monster attacks a defense monster, it gains piercing. So this can bring back your Fiendsmith's Desiree or Lacrima, and then just give it an additional 1800 attack points. And then next, because Fiendsmith is in this deck, I play 1 copy of Triple D Wave High King Caesar. This is able to just twice per turn use when your opponent activates a card or effect that would special summon a monster, detach a material, negate the card. And in this deck, that's really all it does. But it doesn't really need to do much else, really. Then next, I play 1 copy of Necroquip Princess, which has the effect of must be special summoned from the extra deck by sending the above cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard. You can only control 1 princess, and if a monster is sent from the hand to the graveyard to activate a card or effect, activate one of the following effects, where you can draw a card or equip one of those monsters to this card as an equipped spell that gives it 500 attack. You will use each effect of princess once per turn. Next, I play 1 copy of Fiendsmith's Lacrima. Fiendsmith's Lacrima has the effect that monsters your opponent controls lose 600 attack. You can only use each of the following effects of Lacrima once per turn, which are: if this card's fusion summoned, you can Yeah, you can target one of your light fiend monsters that is banished from your graveyard, add it to your hand, or you can special summon it. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle one other light fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck or extra deck and inflict 1200 damage to your opponent. Next, for the last of the fusions, I play one copy of Fiendsmith's Desiree. Fiendsmith's Desiree has the effect that, as a quick effect, you can negate the effects of a number of cards face up on the field, up to the total link rating of link monsters that are equipped to this card until the end of the turn. So if you have it equipped with Sequence, Requiem, and Redgak, then it can negate up to 6 cards at the same time, as well as being really big. And then it has the effect that you can shuffle one other light fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck or extra deck, target one card of the field, and send it to the graveyard. And you can only use each effect of Fiendsmith's Desiree once per turn. Next, I play one copy of Fabled Gamagen. Fabled Gamagen has the effect that your opponent cannot target other Fabled Synchro monsters you control with card effects. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. And if this card is Synchro Summoned, you can special summon a Fabled monster from your hand or deck. And lastly, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can draw cards equal to the number of Fabled Synchro monsters you control, and then you discard one card. Next, I have to play 2 copies of Fabled Ragen. Fabled Ragen has the effect that when it's Synchro Summoned, you can draw cards from your deck until you have 2 cards in hand, which ordinarily you're not summoning this unless you have no cards in hand, so then you just get to draw 2 cards. Next, I play 1 copy of Fabled Andraith. Andraith has the effect when it's summoned, you can draw 2 cards and discard 1, or your opponent can discard a card to negate the effect. Then Andraith's last effect is once per turn, if a monster is sent from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, you can then target that monster and special summon it to your field with its effects negated. Next, I play 1 copy of Groza, Tyrant of Thunder. Tyrant of Thunder has the effect that, was during your opponent's main phase, target an effect monster on the field, discard a monster. If you do, negate that monster's effect till the end of this turn. And then, once per turn, if a fiend monster is sent from the hand to the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can apply one of these effects, which is, you can make it so that Groza can't be destroyed by battle, cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects, or cannot be targeted by card effects until the end of the turn. And you can only activate that effect per turn, so it has to be only one of the 3. Which ordinarily, I would have it discard a fiend to negate the card, so that you can make it so it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. One of the 2, because usually targeting is not that important once it's already gotten its negate off. Then I play 1 copy, Fabled Valkyris. Fabled Valkyris just lets you discard a fiend to draw a card once per turn. And then lastly, I play 2 copies of the deck's actual boss monster, which is 2 copies of Fabled Levi-Lazabul. Fabled Levi-Lazabul has the effect that once per turn during the main phase, quick effect, you can attribute any number of Fabled monsters, and if you do, take control of that many face-up monsters your opponent controls, but their effects are negated. And this card's in the graveyard, you can target one other Fabled card that's in your graveyard. Turn this card to the extra deck. If you do, add that target to the hand, which ordinarily, if you're using its first effect, you will be having it tribute itself, which I don't actually mind with that, because usually you can just then be able to get it back by returning another Fabled card to your hand. And then that is it for my Fabled Fiendsmith deck profile. Have any ideas decks like to be made in the future, decks like to see face each other, or any ideas for improvement, feel free to comment down below. I always read the comments. Thanks for watching.